And Secretary of State Antony Blinken is meeting with leaders in Israel and the West Bank today, hoping to finalize a deal to free the remaining Israeli hostages. Earlier, he spoke to reporters during his meeting with Israeli President Isaac Herzog in Jerusalem.
We now have a response from Hamas to the proposal that was put on the table for a way forward. We're looking at it intensely, as is, I know, the government of Israel. And there's a lot of work to be done, but we are very much focused on doing that work and hopefully being able to resume the release of hostages that was interrupted so many months ago.
Foreign correspondent James Longman joins me now from Tel Aviv, Israel, with more on that. James, Secretary Blinken also met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. So what came out of those meetings?
Yeah, Dan is actually in with Abbas right now. We got a statement actually after Secretary Blinken met with the Prime Minister here. It was fairly vanilla. It was what we've heard time and time again. Remember, Blinken's been here now, I think, 6 times since that October 7th attack. It talked about Israel's right to defend itself, the importance of getting the hostages out of Gaza and, of course, protecting civilians inside the Gaza Strip. But I think it's fairly obvious that there is some way to go yet before a deal is done. I think possibly the State Department thought that Blinken's trip here would coincide with the announcement of a deal. We know that Hamas has sent its reply now about this framework, but it feels like we're quite far off from that deal happening. And I think it also seems like the State Department wants to get a real understanding of what's actually happening in Gaza, what the status of this war actually is. And it's being reported here in local Israeli press that the State Department had actually wanted a meeting with the Lieutenant General, the Chief of Staff of the Israeli Army, Lieutenant General Herzog Halevi, without politicians present. He wanted to get an understanding of what is actually happening on the ground in Gaza, and that was nixed by the Israelis. Again, we haven't corroborated that, but that is what local Israeli press is saying. And if true, it speaks to the difference, perhaps, the disconnect between what politicians are saying is happening in Gaza and what might actually really be happening in Gaza. Diane?
And James, in a statement, Hamas says they dealt with the proposed hostage deal with a positive spirit. So what does that mean? Where does this deal stand right now?
It is very, very difficult to really know. I mean, they presented this idea that there'd be a 4.5-month pause in the fighting. The framework suggests 3 separate phases, 45-day periods, where there'd be kind of progress made in different ways. The first phase, you would see the release of all hostages under the age of 19. You'd see women released, those who are sick or injured, those released. And then the IDF would have to withdraw from built-up areas. The second phase would see the IDF withdraw completely from Gaza, and then in the third stage there'd be bodies and the remains of those killed on either side exchanged. But we just don't know if Israel is going to agree to that. Diane?
All right, James Longman in Tel Aviv, Israel, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.